Action.
Come on in, Mr. Martin. Please take a seat. I'll be with you momentarily.
Do I know you?
Please be sure to shut the door.
Sure. Where am I?
Just one moment. All set.
What's going on here?
Didn't they tell you?
Didn't who tell me what?
Your escorts. Didn't they tell you where you are?
My escorts? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh dear. You must have made a sudden departure. Just 1 second. Yes, indeed. Very sudden.
Very sudden?
Extremely so. Just walking along that it happened.
When what happened?
Mr. Martin, what is the last thing you remember before you came here?
I was having a few drinks with my friends at Tico's. It was a Friday night. Time to let loose. I had to leave to go to Susan's place. Beautiful girl. I mean, you would not believe the gift. Anyway, I was walking along, and the next thing I know, I was here. So, where is here?
Mr. Martin, simply put, after you left the establishment, you walked about 3 blocks and your body then succumbed to acute alcohol poisoning.
Meaning what exactly?
Mr. Martin, at 10:47 p.m. Earth time on April 23rd, you died.
Please call me Jack, all right? I'm not used to this Mr. Martin stuff. And what did you just say?
Jack, you're dead.
Dead?
Deceased.
Deceased?
Expired. Passed away. You have kicked the proverbial bucket. Bought the proverbial farm. Catch my drift?
I think you're full of it. Who put you up in this? Charlie? Max? I'm not dead.
I understand your desire to deny the truth, Jack, but you must understand that your life is over.
My life is not over.
You were 35 years old, reasonably well off, in decent health, except for your drinking problem.
I do not have a drinking problem.
You did have a drinking problem. Past tense.
I'm not dead. My heart is still beating.
No, it's not. What you hear and feel are the perceptions of sensations to which you grew accustomed to during your life. You are a soul now. Your body is just a hollow shell that collapsed on the street. You feel your heart beating, your head throbbing, your breathing, only because your mind still expects it. Once you've come to accept the fact that you are actually dead, your mind will slowly let go of its hold on your life functions. For some, this process happens quickly. For others, it takes longer, depending on how desperate your cling to life is.
Damn right it's desperate. I'm not giving up because I'm not dead. If I was really dead, how come my watch is still... Hey,
Yes, Jack.
my watch has stopped working at 10:47 p.m.
Yes, Jack. Time is meaningless now. We could stand here forever and argue about whether or not you are actually dead, and no one would notice you weren't anywhere else.
So what are you exactly?
What I am is a receptionist. I receive new souls upon their departure from life. In most cases, a soul is accompanied by 2 escorts who explain the recent occurrences, making my job a lot easier. I help process new arrivals and send them on their way to their final destinations.
What's your name?
Delia.
Pretty name.
Thank you.
So, does it matter to you whether I stay or go?
I won't receive another new arrival until you've gone.
Convenient.
I'm not the only receptionist. Hundreds of thousands of people die every day.
I suppose so.
Does this mean that you've accepted the fact that you are now dead?
No, not yet.
I see.
I like to keep my options open.
I see. Ah, yes, in life apparently you exercised quite a number of options, didn't you?
I went with the flow. I lived by instinct.
Right. Do you now have an idea of where you are?
Let me guess. Purgatory, right?
Exactly. Some religions would call this place limbo. You're here because in life you exercised a balance of good and evil, and it is my job to facilitate the determination of your final destination.
You sound like a stewardess.
And you sound like most of the macho jerks I dated when I was alive.
When you... Wait a second.
Yes, Jack, I'm dead.
How did you...
I killed myself. I took a swan dive into a waterfall.
Why?
Because I couldn't stand the hurt anymore. I couldn't stand to have men treat me like I was worthless. I wanted to be free.
And now you're free?
Yes, because now I can be who I want. Yes, I work here. That's one of the privileges of committing suicide. But I have time off to be the person I wanted to be when I was alive but never was.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
Yes, I said I was.
Are you sorry about Jean Diet?
Who?
You don't even remember her name. She was 19 years old, a starry-eyed sophomore in college. You took her in your arms, seduced her, got her pregnant, and left her on the curb like garbage. That was 3 years ago. Remember now, Jack?
You don't understand.
Oh, but do understand. To you, women are subordinate creatures meant to cater to the whims of men like you. What sickens me is that some women actually go along with it, like Donna Mitchell.
Donna?
You left her at the altar. She even knew what you were, and she still wanted to marry you. Her father almost went into hock to pay for that wedding, and you never showed up.
I think I'm in hell.
I don't know where you're going. That's what I'm here to help determine.
By assaulting me with my past?
That's part of the procedure.
Oh, God.
Speaking of God, let's talk about your religious principles.
Oh, yes, let's.
How many times did you go to church last year?
Once.
What was that?
Once.
Right, once. Midnight mass on Christmas Eve, and you were blind, stinking, drunk.
I went, didn't I?
Yes, you did. There's something to be said for that.
Just because I go to church does not mean I have to enjoy it.
It's a very popular attitude, which is shaking the very foundation of religion.
You know what? Religion needs to be shaken up a bit.
What about work?
What about work?
What kind of work did you do?
I was a... Don't you have that on your little screen right there?
You were a graphic artist, and a very talented one, I might add.
Ooh, a compliment.
You designed the artwork for a lot of commercial products, including toys. And you even won a few awards. It's hard to believe.
What's hard to believe?
That someone like you could be responsible for making so many people happy.
That's just the kind of guy I am. I like to make people happy.
Then how come you were so adept at making people miserable?
What's that supposed to mean?
The one person you ever went out of your way to make happy was yourself, and it didn't matter what you had to do to be happy.
That's not true.
It isn't? Then what about Donna Mitchell?
What did I do to her?
She was a happily married woman, kind, loving, faithful, and you romanced her until she was forced to give in to you. You used her for 2 weeks, then threw her back to her husband.
So, she had someone to go back to.
No, you did something to her. She wasn't able to love her husband anymore, and I'm not just talking about the sex. She couldn't even be near him anymore. You poisoned her, Jack.
Okay, that's a little much, don't you think? That's a strong way of putting it.
It's an accurate way of putting it.
Hey, hang on. You said that I was here because I was in the balance of between good and evil. What about the good things I've done?
Smart move, Jack. Let's take a look at that, shall we? When you were 12, you saved your little brother's life.
Jimmy.
Tell me about that.
My friends and I used to play football out on the streets. We'd play two-hand touch and choose up teams from as soon as we got home from school until it started to get dark and our moms called us home for dinner. Anyway, Jimmy was 8. He used to watch us. He was never allowed to go on the street, so he just sit on the curb. So one day, Frankie Harper, who was playing quarterback, overthrew a pass to me. Jimmy, who always wanted to be a part of the group, went to get the ball. I don't think he ever saw the car. At first, I turned to Frankie to chew him out for missing me when I was wide open. And then I saw Jimmy, then the car coming toward him. I ran toward Jimmy. I saw the guy in the car. He must have been stoned or something because his eyes were glazed and it didn't even look like it was slowing down. I dove right at Jimmy, pushed him out of the way. I pushed him aside, but the car sideswiped my ankle. All I remember hearing was the sound of the football exploding as the car ran over. Jimmy started crying. Frankie went to my house to get our mother, who drove us to the hospital. Jimmy was pretty okay, just a few cuts, scrapes, and bruises from when I pushed him down. The force of the car practically demolished my ankle. It took them a couple of hours of surgery just to put the damn thing back together.